Well, Judd, Happy New Year. You've had a busy one. So you were playing in China, and then I gather that you had New Year in Dubai. So do you feel refreshed and ready to go for 24?
It was obviously a different kind of experience. Normally, I have like a day or two off, but we were still playing snooker over there. It was still nice to keep the momentum going, but it was also nice to have a little break as well. I managed to stop off in Dubai on the way home, have a good New Year, but I think you've always got one eye on the Masters. I think when it gets to that New Year time, you're always kind of raring to go. This is such a big event nowadays, and just can't wait to get back here.
Well, and just going back to that first half of the season, leading up to the Christmas break and the trip to China, amazing, 3 ranking titles in a row. You've been in another final as well. It's like you've rediscovered that relentless winning touch.
Yeah, I think something clicked in the off season. I felt like I had a longer break than I normally do, and I felt like I really needed it. Over the past 3 or 4 years, it's been kind of a relentless work ethic and just constantly thinking about snooker, playing snooker. I felt like I was not on the edge of a breakdown, but I needed like 1 or 2 months off just to completely forget about snooker and get back to basics. There were spells when I was winning all those tournaments that I wasn't enjoying it, and I was kind of putting myself through so much kind of stress of like, I have to win this event, I have to win. Now I think just having that time off and even just kind of celebrating the wins a little bit more and enjoying them, it means so much more now. There's so much more enjoyment when I'm coming off the tournament. There's no kind of stress at the end of the week when I'm lifting trophies, just pure joy and happiness. So I feel like I've struck the right balance. And
that's great to hear, because listen, life's too short. None of us know how long we've got. We've got to enjoy every week and every great moment as it comes. And I think I told you a little while ago at one of the other events that you'd become, when you moved on to 26 ranking titles ahead of Mark Williams, you'd become the most decorated left-hander in history, and you didn't know that. How sort of conscious are you overall of records and legacies and titles?
I'm not someone that kind of pays as much attention at all to stuff like that. I think there's certain players, Neil Robertson, for example, that knows every stat of every year. I know all the big ones, how many world titles Ronnie's won and how many tournaments Hendry won and stuff like that. I know all of that kind of things, but when you're coming down to sort of the left-handers titles and stuff like that, I just want to go at my own pace, and I feel like there's a certain few records that are achievable. There's some that I kind of feel like might be out of my way now with what Ronnie's done, but there's still the odd one that I would like to nick off him at the end of my career.
You're on 954 career centuries, 53 this season. So if the Championship League goes well, and if you make it on a decent run at the Crucible, it's conceivable that your 99th century this season would be your 1000th. Imagine doing that at the Crucible.
Stuff like that you'd like to think is kind of written in the stars. I know Ronnie's 1000 milestone was extremely special, doing it in a final. I think you'd like to think those kind of stories are saved for that kind of special occasion. And yeah, I know I need to go at a good pace still. It's going to be difficult, but the sense of achievement to be able to do that in a world championship would be absolutely incredible, and it would certainly be one of the kind of the moments that you look back on in your career at the end and think, wow, that was special.
And going back to last year, what an intriguing run it was. You came through a couple of really big 6-5 thrillers, and then you just started to get some momentum. The final against Williams was brilliant. And I remember being surprised by something you said. I asked you how close was winning the Masters for a second time to being at the top of your list of achievements, assuming you would say it was behind winning the Worlds in 19, but you said last year, this means more. Would you still stand by that statement?
I can just remember how just surprised I was, I think, at the end of the week. I've won a lot of tournaments, but I've never kind of been in that much shock that I was the winner. I always felt like, especially in the Masters before, how well I played against Ronnie, and in that whole tournament, the Ronnie in the final was...
In 19, yes.
In 19, I think that's probably one of the best, along with the John Higgins final I've ever played, just ruthless. But that tournament, the Masters last year, was, I don't know, it was difficult, but I felt relaxed as well, because I knew I wasn't playing that well, and it kind of relaxed me. And I think just when you can get over the line in that kind of tournament, I think when you lose in finals, especially triple crowns, you just kind of get a little bit forgotten about. It's kind of, you're so close to being that person that's kind of lifted 2 titles, 3 titles, World Championships. I've lost in the final twice now. The Masters, I've been in the final twice but managed to win it. It's a different sense of achievement, and it's never nice to get that close in such a big tournament and lose. So to get over that line was such a relief. It kind of took a while for it to sink in, I think.
Well, here's hoping there are many more Triple Crown triumphs. You're coming into a golden period in your career, and it looks like that rest back last summer has served you very well indeed. Go well for the rest of the season. 99 at the Crucible for the 1,000. I'm expecting a big fist pump when that gets over the line.
Relentless.